Hey folks, welcome to Shooting Up North. I'm your host Lewis Carlin. We're right here on the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're watching for the first time, please consider hitting that subscribe button. If you want to follow me on social media, I'm on Twitter at Shooting Up North, Instagram at Alliance PW Network, and feel free to join our Facebook group, the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. And if you are looking to support the podcast, if you're enjoying all the content that I'm putting up here, and you want to support the podcast in a very inexpensive way, please consider purchasing a super thanks comment. It's a fun little comment. You get a fun animation. You get to leave a very colorful comment as well. And in addition, anyone that leaves a super thanks comment or purchases a super thanks comment will get a shout out from me on the very next pre-recorded podcast. And you'll get there's a credit page that I'll put on at the end of the pre-recorded podcast, giving you thanks as well. I start about $2. So if you're enjoying the content here, please consider purchasing a super thanks comment. But regardless if you purchase one or not, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. So anything going on this weekend for professional wrestling? Let's think. What has been happening? It's been a slow it's been a slow week. It's been a slow week. Not too much going on in except a big brawl between CM Punk, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and Ace Steel. So as we know, they did the whole media scrum. CM Punk said a number of things, pissing a few people off, talking about Colt Cabana, talking about Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, speaking about other people as well, and but was confronted by the Young Bucks. Kenny Omega, big brawl breaks out. Ace Steel decides to jump in there and bite Kenny Omega. Ace Steel is gonna just jump right in there, back in CM Punk and take a chomp out of Kenny Omega. I still think that's hilarious. I still think that's hilarious that Ace Steel, grown man, decided to run up to Kenny Omega and bite him. Like, where did he bite him? Bite him in the arm? Did he bite him in the neck? Did he bite him in the? Did he get down on all fours and bite him on the thigh? Where did he bite him? And he also, I was reading that he pulled his hair as well. But anyway, big brawl took place. A lot of suspensions. CM Punk, out 8 months because of injury. Kenny Omega, Young Bucks suspended. CM Punk suspended. They're all been stripped of their titles. Young Bucks, Kenny Omega stripped of the trios title. CM Punk stripped of the world title. So he's been a world champion twice, but like a total of what, 5 days? 5 days, CM Punk. So the question is, Tony Khan's got a lot of thinking to do. He's got major decisions to make. Decisions that he needs to make. It's you have this toxic locker room right now. CM Punk, seemingly the cause of it, seemingly upset at a number of people, and being very vocal about it, and he's rubbing a lot of people the wrong way in the back. From what I've been reading, a lot of updates from Fightful. I've been reading a lot of updates, and he's been rubbing a lot of people the wrong way in the back. And a lot of people don't want CM Punk back, but nonetheless, he's, like I said, he's out for 8 months, but he's suspended. So, is he suspended? If he's suspended, is he going to be able to come back after the injury? Is he maybe he's suspended? He's not going to get paid, and when the injury is done, then he comes back, or when the injury is up, when he's completely recovered from injury. It's a tricep injury. When he recovers from injury and he comes back, does the suspension begin then? So I'm a little confused, because if he's suspended now, but he's able to come back after injury, he's going to be out anyway. So the suspension is not really going to mean much unless he's not going to get paid. So I'd like to know a little more details about the suspension for CM Punk, but nonetheless, Kenny Omega, Young Bucks, they're all suspended, as are a few. I think Michael Nazakawa, Christopher Daniels, they're suspended as well. A couple of other people. Ace Steel is suspended, of course, for running up and biting Kenny Omega. He also threw a chair at Nick Jackson, hit Nick Jackson right in the face with the chair. A kid just run up and just fight like a man, man. But no fight should have broke out to begin with. But if it's like I gotta protect CM Punk, I'm gonna run up to Kenny Omega and I'm gonna bite him. I'm gonna bite. Hey, CM, don't worry, don't worry. Hey, Phil, don't worry. I got your back. I'm gonna go bite while you take on the Young Bucks with your fists. I'm gonna go bite Kenny Kenny Omega. But anyway, enough joking around. Enough joking around. I've joked around about that enough. So but anyway, so the question is, Tony Khan needs to make a decision. Tony Khan needs to make a decision, and my question is, should he just outright release CM Punk? I mean, that's been the rumor that CM Punk's going to get released. CM Punk's going to get fired. He's going to be let go. But it hasn't happened yet. Tony Khan has suspended CM Punk. So the question is, should Tony Khan outright release CM Punk? If it was me, I would outright release CM Punk. CM Punk has become a liability, not only creating a toxic locker room, getting involved in that huge fight, of course, as we all know about, um, rubbing a lot of people the wrong way in the back. In addition, he's injury prone now. He injured his foot, doing the dive into the crowd. He tore his tricep doing a suicide dive on the John Moxley. So he appears to be injury prone now. So he's become a liability to AEW. So Tony Khan needs to put on his big boy pants and make a big boy decision, and not just jumping in front of a camera all wild-eyed, and going, oh, we're going to have a tournament. We're going to crown new champions, and not even blinking, his eyes bugging out. He needs to put his big boy pants on and make a decision. He needs to make a decision. I think CM Punk, my opinion is CM Punk's become a liability for AEW. And as much as as much as I could say a star CM Punk is, you're gonna have to make a decision. Is it do you want CM Punk, or do you want to improve the locker room? Do you want to improve you want to end the toxic environment in the locker room? And I'm not saying letting CM Punk go and boom, the toxic environment is completely resolved. I'm sure there are other things like Eddie Kingston, Sammy Guevara not getting along. I'm sure, but to get on a media scrum and to blast and badmouth and insult members of, especially the executive vice presidents of AEW, and then getting into a fight with them in the back. The action needs to be taken there. Action needs to be taken. And again, with the torn tricep, he's out for 8 months. He's become a liability. Tony Khan paid him a lot of money. Okay, so Tony Khan paid him a lot of money. We got the huge debut. Everybody wanted, this a year ago or so. Everybody wanted a little over a year ago. Everybody wanted CM Punk. When CM Punk coming back? When CM Punk coming back? Tony Khan got CM Punk to come back. They had the huge show on AEW Rampage, the first AEW Rampage show. Everyone screaming CM Punk, CM Punk, CM. The music hits, the crowd goes wild. AEW brought us that, and that's going to be one of the greatest moments in AEW history. They brought back CM Punk, and the crowd went wild. It was in Chicago, huge ratings. And it was a great moment for AEW, and they did it. The WWE didn't do it. New Japan Pro Wrestling didn't do it. AEW did it. They brought back CM Punk, but I think it's been all downhill from there, right? In terms of CM Punk, he's had a number of matches. I haven't seen every single CM Punk match, but the matches that I've seen, they haven't been matches that I'm like, oh, I gotta watch that match again. Oh, I gotta watch that match again. And I've heard great things about the MJF door collar match. I haven't seen it, so I can't speak on it. But I'm sure that there's been great CM Punk matches that people want to watch over and over again. Just I haven't seen any, and you're paying CM Punk a lot of money. You're paying CM Punk a lot of money, and Tony Khan, I'm sure, wasn't expecting this toxic environment that's unfortunately going on in AEW, as per reports that I'm reading just about every single day. So Tony Khan needs to make a decision. Has he gotten his money's worth with CM Punk? And speaking of CM Punk, he brought CM Punk in to get ratings. The ratings really haven't been through the roof. I mean, he was hoping to get, sure, the AEW Rampage show when CM Punk debuted. That I think was like 1.3, 1.4 million viewers. But they hasn't been hitting home runs recently. 800,000, 900,000. He's been hitting a million here and there, but it's not steady. So CM Punk really hasn't added much to the ratings. And I'm sure he's shelled out a hell of a lot of money for CM Punk. But maybe it's time to end the relationship with CM Punk. I think they should. I think they should end the relationship with CM Punk. Like I said, I think he's become a liability, not just with his attitude, not with just rubbing people the wrong way, but he's injury prone. He's injury prone now. Oh, he coming off the foot injury. Now he's got the tricep injury. He's got to get an operation. It's going to take 8 months. He's going to come back. What is he going to injure next? What's going to be next? Is he going to injure his calf muscle? Is his knee going to blow out? Is he going to come back and create more toxic, another toxic environment for AEW? Is he going to rub people the wrong way? I think Tony Khan needs to make a decision. And if it was me, like I said, I personally would release CM Punk. I would let him out of his contract. He's not going to go to the WWE. If anything, he'll go to New Japan Pro Wrestling. If he wants to remain a professional wrestler, he'd probably go to New Japan Pro Wrestling. We see him in Japan. I don't think you can see him go back to the WWE. He created, of course, I think he burned a number of bridges with the WWE, and I don't think we'd see him back in the WWE unless to get back at AEW if they do in fact release him. If they do in fact release him, maybe he'd want to get back at the AEW and talk to Triple H and try to work things out and come back to the WWE and stick it to AEW. That's a possibility. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Rumor is that he's going to get. There's rumors going around that Tony Khan might release him. He might get fired. He might get released from his contract. But that hasn't happened yet. And we'll see. We'll see where it goes. We'll see. I'm curious to see like the next week or two what transpires here if CM Punk is actually released. I have a feeling he might get released. If it was me, I would, of course, like as I said. But we'll see what happens. Okay, so we're gonna leave it at that. That's my opinion on that. So I'm watching the news, of course. Anything breaks, I'll be back. But until then, thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye, and stay safe, everyone. So long. Bye bye.